episode 10.
So
10, 10s across the board.
That's amazing. I can't believe we've done this 10 times.
Yeah.
And now, of course, as usual, by the time you hear this, it will be sometime since you've probably already, if you follow us on Instagram, you'll have already seen our 10th episode cake.
It's a mess.
Yes,
okay.
It's a cake rack, but it's fine.
Cake rack.
That's okay. I got it from the Shop and Save. Man, I'm making the Shop and Save sound real bad across these episodes. It's just, it's just a little grocery store.
You did not call it the Slop and Slave, so you did better than what I would have done.
Mark and John's Shop and Slave.
Oh no.
Slop and Slave.
But this episode I calculated out on the calendar will be airing right after Millville Days.
Ooh,
our favorite holiday.
It is our favorite holiday.
So what's Millville Days, guys?
Millville Days. It's basically just a little like town festival where me and Justine live, and you can drink in the streets, and there's like a pizza eating contest, and you can buy halushki from several vendors. It's wonderful.
It's very
there's wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling's probably the best part. It's very small town America, and the best
It sounds
part,
like we're very easily impressed.
Well, so happy Millville Days then, guys.
Yeah, happy Millville Days.
Yeah, I don't think it's that we're that easily impressed. I think it's very just pleasing, and I don't know. It's like the little things.
Everybody's in a good mood during Millville Days.
It's always a late summer event. It's a nice event in late summer.
And to be honest, I just love drinking beer in the middle of the street. It makes me happy.
That's mostly my favorite part about it is the outside drinking.
And getting funnel cake.
You normally can't do that really in Pennsylvania, just for people that don't live in the state of Pennsylvania. It's very restrictive alcohol laws. You normally cannot drink alcohol openly in a Pennsylvania street like you could, like, I don't know, Vegas or New Orleans or anything like that.
I don't think there's a ton of places in America that let you open carry alcohol in the street. Delaware is one too.
Wait, you can just drink in the streets in Delaware?
Mm-hmm.
That tiny state is wild.
I know.
You can
Why were we
in the
drinking more when we went to Delaware?
Delaware is great.
There's no tax.
No sales tax?
No sales tax. They're just wild.
Delaware is
Delaware is great.
Delaware is an underrated state. The beaches are great. It's tiny.
Don't stay at the roadside inn at Rehoboth.
Heather and I went to Rehoboth Beach a few years ago on a vacation, and the beach was lovely and the boardwalk was lovely. However, we made the ill-advised decision to budget and stay.
We're trying to save some cash. We're poor.
So we stayed like a mile away on a 4-lane highway from the beach, and we were like, oh, it'll be fine. It won't be a big deal.
That was the scariest highway of all time.
It was a big deal, and it sucked really bad.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, it kind of tainted my view of Rehoboth Beach, even though it was actually pretty great.
If we would have stayed like on the boardwalk or whatever in one of the nice hotels, we probably would have thought it was the tits. But instead, we were like, you couldn't cross that street.
No.
It was frightening.
Oh yeah, down by Rehoboth. No way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be on that
It
side.
was like it was like Frogger of death. It was
Yeah.
horrible.
And the parking price was like so prohibitive to drive down to the beach every day. It was like, I don't know, like $50 a day or $25 a day.
So
we
we took the
we'll take the
fucking
bus. And then we had to get a shuttle, and it was
Oh yeah, sounds like you had a terrible time.
Yeah,
you definitely did it all wrong.
Yeah.
No, and I have a good friend, and her family goes to Rehoboth every single year, and she told me, and I did not listen to her, and she was like, you have to stay on the beach. It's going to cost a little bit more, but you have to stay on the beach. And me and Heather are tightwads, and we were like, no, fuck that. We're not going to stay on the beach.
We didn't listen.
Yeah.
We were we were fools.
I'm sorry, Rehoboth.
The other option is you don't stay in Rehoboth, and instead you go down south a little further.
Dewey.
Or Bethany or Fenwick Island. There's like a little less to do, but it's also especially in Bethany, you can stay like a little further inland and still like it's not as scary to like ride your bike or walk down toward the beaches. So yeah, Rehoboth, like you have to be
on the beach.
Yeah.
In general, that was a nice beach. It was really nice.
Yeah.
We just chose poorly for our accommodations.
So I don't remember how we got here, but anyway. This is episode 10 of That's Sick, and I'm Justine. I am your host this week, and Heather and JB, I'm really afraid. They've been implying some pretty awful things about what their topics are. Well, I can't wait to get into it, but first, we should do sickest thing of the week in a bad way. So I have a pretty bad one. What about you guys?
I have nothing, so I'm all about hearing whatever you got.
Yes, please.
Okay. So this story comes from a coworker of mine. He told it just today, and I told him, "Oh my God, I'm going to use this on the podcast. It's perfect." So, without going into too much detail about like what exactly I do for work, I will say it's retail related. And so we were discussing swift tack guns. And for those of you who've never worked in like an apparel clothing store, a swift tack gun is something you use to attach tags to clothing with those like plastic filaments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if one like comes off, you can reattach it.
Yeah.
So these have like very giant needle things on them. And we were kind of like saying, oh, it's so funny that we're not allowed to be trusted with, say, like, you know, scissors when you're working in a store, like proper scissors or a box cutter, but they'll give you a swift tack gun. So he was telling me about this one time, a long, long, long time ago, when he was working at a certain store, that a coworker of his was trying to fix their swift tack gun because it was jammed. And the needle to it, she didn't realize it wasn't all the way attached.
Oh God.
And so when she started hitting the button for like it's not like really a trigger, but like the button you hit to make it do its thing.
I feel like I know where this might be going, and I don't like it.
The needle flew off and stabbed someone in the eye.
Why is it always the eye?
Yeah. And then apparently the person whose eye it hit pulled the needle out.
No.
And there was so much blood. Apparently, I wasn't there.
There's so much blood.
And this happened a long time ago.
Blood in your eye.
He said he's like, I didn't know an eye could bleed that much.
Oh my God.
I will say this is not. I wasn't working with these people. This was not at my current job, and this, in case anyone figures out what it is I actually do, it's not related. But it was a good sick story. So.
Did that person lose their eyesight?
I don't think so.
So they don't have a patch.
I don't know this person.
I know. I just like to think about people walking around wearing eye patches. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you want to wear one?
I mean, but I want to have an eye. I want to have the option to not wear the eye patch.
Okay, just for fashion.
Why don't you just wear an eye patch?
I don't know, because my vision's really terrible and I have to wear glasses. And if I cut off one eye, I'm going to be real fucked up.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm glad to have disgusted you two so much.
Yeah, that was horrible. Oh,
Good
eye
job.
stuff is so gross.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah.
God.
All right. Which one of you wants to tell me about the topic for this week? Heather?
Well, we've decided that it is Heather, that is going first this week. But I can reveal it if you want.
I mean, I think we're both extremely eager to talk about the subject.
We are. So let's just get to it.
Go ahead, Heather. You can reveal it. That's
What
fine.
it is
Dun, da, da, da.
cannibalism. Yeah, this is like very rich,
long pig.
very, very fecund topic here. We found a lot of good info. Yeah.
It's real disgusting.
Yeah, so yeah, long pig. That's the like the funniest thing about cannibalism to me is that like human meat is known as long pig.
That's so disturbing.
I know, I love it though. I love that term. Long
okay.
pig.
Oh, it's so gross.
If you guys could see me, the listeners could see me now, I'm basically doing a cross between a grimace and like an excited grin.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel. So
she looks like horrified, but she wants to learn more.
yeah, which
Yeah.
is if that's
what we're going
I was going
for.
to say, if that doesn't sum up our podcast in a nutshell, I don't know what would. So, all right, Heather.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, what I'm doing is the history of cannibalism. Basically, I'm gonna do like your general overview. Give
right.
you some information. I culled the minds of Wikipedia just for you.
Aw,
She did the
thanks.
hard work, so you don't have to.
Well,
So
basically,
you guys don't have to clear your browser history.
I search it. You know what? Actually, that reminds me. When I do most of my That Sick podcast research, it's in incognito mode.
I know you told me to
Yes.
do that, and I did not do that, and I just wonder what the overlords at Google are thinking.
Are you getting weird ads?
I haven't
Weird
gotten anything about
targeted
eating
ads.
human flesh or anything.
You guys know that all incognito mode, like Google still knows what you're doing.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess it's
It means it's not showing showing up in your browser history or saving cookies to your computer, but Google still knows what you're doing, as does your ISP.
So
But
just
I
if
haven't-
Brock got onto your computer, he wouldn't know you were.
You have to use a VPN if you want to be totally anonymous.
Christ.
Just to be clear,
It's fine. You're fine.
incognito mode is for hiding your searching and internet habits from people you share the computer with.
Whatever.
If you're
Google
looking at
knows I'm a,
pornographies,
Yeah,
Google knows I'm a cannibal now. Whatever.
it's fine. I mean,
the search for long pig continues.
it's fine.
Okay. So actually I joked about Wikipedia, but this all started with a 60 Minutes Australia piece that I watched on YouTube by this reporter named Ben Fordham, and he was with this I didn't get the other guy's name, and frankly I was so annoyed with him that I didn't feel like, giving him credit anyways. But so they went to West Papua in 2006 to be the first white people to contact the Korowai tribe. And reporters, they were making a big deal about how these people live in the Stone Age still. They literally use like axes made of stone, things like that, not blades. And so like this guy, the guy that was with the reporter, he was like this 60-some-year-old like Australian dude, I think. And he like literally like fucking wept with joy that he's like, I can't believe it. Like, I'm so happy that I get to be the first people to meet these like these primitive Stone Age cannibal tribes.
Typical colonizer bullshit.
Right. Like it just like made me feel so ick.
Yeah. Ugh.
This tribe was, rumored to be cannibalistic. So yeah, they went to visit there. So the reason why this particular tribe is cannibalistic is because they believe in like witches in a way. So if somebody dies in the tribe mysteriously, they are basically like, I don't know how this happened. So they're like, it has to be like some kind of witchcraft. So they blame it on somebody. They try and figure out who the witch is. And it's basically just like one of their tribesmen, one of their villagers, sometimes it's a kid. And then they're like, okay, you're the witch and we will kill you. And then they eat them. And yeah. So these two white guys went with a camera crew to go and find this tribe. And they did. And they didn't eat like the long pig with them or anything like that. They just like talked to them and shit.
That's some bullshit reporting.
Yeah, but whatever. But yeah. So cannibalism is still practiced, apparently, in the modern day. And so I'm gonna go through back to so after I watched this YouTube video, then I went to, our good old friend Wikipedia, and evidence of it is back to Neanderthal times in 6,000 years ago. 600,000 years ago, sorry.
No, the Earth is only 6,000 years old.
Who says that?
She doesn't actually believe that.
Jeebus.
Ugh.
Does Jeebus say that?
I believe certain religious sects say that. I don't actually believe that. I'm trolling. I'm being
Okay.
a troll. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
You're the one that was raised Catholic.
I know even Catholics
true.
think that the Earth is older than 6,000 years, I think.
Oh, do they?
I think so. I don't know. Whatever. I haven't been a Catholic since I was 12.
All right.
So the oldest Homo sapiens show evidence of defleshing bones. They basically, it seems to be that most ancient like Neanderthals, participated in some form of cannibalism.
But wait, how do they, when you say defleshing bones, what does that mean?
Basically, they found archaeologists have found bones that were defleshed, that had the flesh stripped of them.
Got it. So it's evidence of people using it
them.
for me.
Like
Got
they
it.
weren't like mashed on by like an apex predator.
Right.
Like cleanly removed.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Exactly. So they're like, yeah, I guess they did eat their,
Microsoft.
like Neanderthals ate the Homo sapiens and vice versa, probably. In early history, there were many records of cannibalism having to do with sieges, war, and famine. Like this is a little bit later on in history, once civilization happens a little bit more. The Roman siege of Numantia left the people of that city stranded, and they resorted to cannibalism and suicide. So there's just so much evidence of cannibalism, people resorting to cannibalism out of necessity. That is, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Meat is meat.
Meat is meat. Yeah, stuff starts to look like real delicious.
You do what you got to do.
Crusaders were said to feed on their fallen enemies.
Well, that's good. That makes you look like a badass boss.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you want to fight us? We'll fucking eat you, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could almost,
I wouldn't fuck with people who were going to eat me.
I could see that.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of, as you'll see, a lot of cultures and people, did do that method, and it was effective. So Europe's Great Famine of 1315 to 17 led to reports of cannibalism. There's no food, so people gonna eat each other. In an aforementioned episode of That's Sick, by me, the mummies of Egypt that were preserved in bitumen were consumed of the people of Europe as a medical remedy for many years. Just a little tag a joke in there, calling back to one of our earlier episodes. Little callback.
No, which episode is that number?
That was
4.
5. It was the one.
Oh yeah, 5. Dead Doll Squad.
Yeah, Dead Doll Squad, episode number 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. Yeah. So then, the Tang Dynasty in China, some rebel forces invaded. There were a bunch of the Tang Dynasty was expanding, and so the various villages were kind of like fighting back against the invasion of the soldiers. And so soldiers and civilians alike in these various uprisings were cannibalized. An enemy's heart and liver was eaten to punish that person or to enact revenge.
Weren't they already dead?
I guess maybe revenge on their,
Soul.
fellow dudes and
Their
soul.
progeny.
Yeah, I suppose.
I was like, I feel like the killing probably would have been a pretty good punishment.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, what more are you gonna do? What's more? You got the revenge. Like you.
No. Now we're gonna eat your organs.
Yeah.
Now you're punished.
It's the final insult. Hey, final insult. Got to piss on your grave, man. Maybe that's their version of pissing on your grave.
A little extreme, if you ask me.
I'll eat your liver, bitch.
Yeah, eat your liver. Yeah, so that's like, ugh, so gross. So let's go from China to Aztec society.
Oh God, the goddamn Aztecs.
Yeah,
man.
we all know they made sacrifices, right? You've heard of that. That's
Of
kind of
course.
popular. Yeah.
Murder ball.
And Murder Ball, yeah. Well, I don't know what that game is called. I forget. I didn't look that up, but
It's not, the official name is not Murder Ball.
it's not Murder Ball. But it's some game where I guess it's famously the losers got sacrificed.
And
you
then
know?
they played soccer with their heads.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm probably making this up, but I feel like that's a thing.
Okay, well that's sick, and that might be,
That's super sick.
That'd
Yeah.
be that's sick. Sports edition.
Most historians believe that the bodies of sacrificed Aztec society were cannibalized, but the practice is not widely believed to be like a main source of sustenance. It was more of a ritualistic thing.
Like I'm going to drink a little blood. I'll eat like a finger or something.
Yeah.
Or eat your
It-
toenails. I don't know. Whatever people were into. Probably organs.
Yeah.
Hearts. They probably ate hearts.
Awful. OFFAL. Awful.
Ha 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 ha. Good pun.
Yeah. I love how awful is called awful because it really is awful. Like a lot of people think it's awful.
It is awful.
Is
Yeah.
it? I've never had awful.
Oh man, there was an episode of what do you call it? Motherfucker. Sorry.
What's the language?
Iron Chef. It was a Halloween episode. Tina Fey was one of the celebrity judges.
Mhm.
And the secret ingredient, was awful. They had to cook with like hearts and livers and all that stuff and
Ugh.
like sheep guts and shit. And yeah,
Well,
check it out, folks. That
Good
was
for
a good
them.
one. That might be a good topic for That Sick is like eating awful. Would you guys eat awful?
I don't want to.
Maybe we'll save that for the challenge at the end.
like I guess I'd eat it if it were served to me. I would not pick that out on a menu though.
Yeah, you would not seek it out.
No, I would probably just go with chicken fingers or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
chicky tendos.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to America. In 1609, Jamestown, first European
yeah.
American colony, suffered this. So they suffered famine, and recent evidence has found that they also ate some of each other. A little bit. They did a little bit of cannibalism.
I found that in my research as well. I'm
Did
glad you
you?
brought it up. Yeah.
Tight. I figured we would kind of like have some things that we found together, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Some American cannibalism, some good old American
Oh.
cannibalism.
Finally, America.
Old
America.
homegrown cannibalism. Red, white, and blue, man.
Ugh.
So OG fuckboy Chris Columbus reported on cannibals. All right, so he reported on cannibals, and it was okay. So this is what JB and I were talking about when before you got here, Justine, is that it was the Caribs. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope the Caribs, Caribs, as in the Caribbean, I think, that had the rep for eating people. Although that wasn't necessarily true.
It wasn't
That
true
was
at all.
just a rumor. Yeah,
It
wasn't true
even
at
a
all.
little bit true.
Your research found it was not true
It was
whatsoever.
not true at all. Yeah.
Yeah, It was just like they had a reputation. And a lot of what I found in my research was that a lot of these colonizers spread rumors that these quote unquote savage tribes were cannibals in order to justify the enslavement and murder of them. Like, surprise, surprise, white people being shitty, you know, like
better kill them before they eat you.
Yeah. So there's reports of cannibalism all over the place, but then there's also false reports of cannibalism all over the place.
Right.
Isn't it fucked up that the word cannibal comes from a false accusation of cannibalism?
Totes. Definitely fucked up.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we used the word, and it wasn't even true.
That's taken a different way. That's taken like a socio-political way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole different kind of sick.
Yeah. So here, let me add to that. So Queen Isabel said that you can't enslave the natives of the Caribbean unless they are cannibals. So, you know, you can imagine the kind of accusations that went flying around.
That's a very specific set of rules about how you can enslave people versus not enslave people.
Yeah. She's like, don't touch the natives. Oh, but if they're cannibals, whatever, you know, have at it.
Then all of a sudden people are labeled as cannibals.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Oh my God, I get it. Well, it's all about dehumanizing.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Oh God, white people are fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't know one.
Yeah. We suck.
Oh my God, we are all three of us very
Yeah.
white.
Extremely
We're all
That was a lie.
extremely I'm so white, I'm clear.
Yep.
I'm very blonde.
So it's this I highlighted this section because this was a pretty disgusting quote to me. So it's recorded about the Tupinamba tribe, the captaincy of the Sergipe. It's a province in Brazil, okay? Quote, they eat human flesh when they can get it. And if a woman miscarries, devour the abortive immediately. If she goes her time out, she herself cuts the navel string with a shell, which she boils along with the secondine, aka that's supposed to be the placenta, and eats them both.
So they eat if
They eat,
the
like, the
baby
afterbirth.
okay, so they're not eating the baby. They're
No,
eating
they eat the miscarriage. Yeah, they eat the
the
abortive.
miscarriage.
It says devour the abortive immediately.
But if it doesn't miscarry, if the baby is born, then they eat the umbilical cord and the placenta.
yeah, which is not. I mean, that we could do. I
Well-
want to do a whole episode on eating the placenta because
We,
that.
Like,
we
that's a
talked.
thing
We
that
talked
happens,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
we
did
talked
we?
when you were telling us about the you like the Victorians eating money
Totes.
parts. We talked about placenta and like
yeah.
I think if I remember correctly from the hours I spent editing that episode, Heather and I both agreed that we would consider taking the powdered capsule form of our placenta.
Yeah.
But Jen
Oh no.
insisted that she would only do it in the smoothie form.
That sounds like something I would say.
Yes.
I wonder if you could just like throw it on a grill.
I think I don't like the idea of it being
Sweet
in
baby
powder.
Ray's.
Well, I just don't want it to get powdered, so I would like to have it in as whole a form as possible.
You also kept asking if like the texture would be like kale.
That sounds like something that sounds on brand for me.
And Heather and I were very confused.
I also don't know why I thought it would be like kale.
Like
Wait.
if you bit on a placenta,
I feel like it would actually be like
I think it would
I
be
can
more
tell
like
you what it is.
have you eaten placenta?
No, but I've touched one with my finger.
Okay, what's it feel like?
It's like real spongy and like it would be
Spongy?
chewy as fuck.
yeah,
It
that's
would
Okay.
how
be
I imagine.
sinewy and chewy.
Have you ever eaten octopus? Is it like octopus?
Oh yeah, it would be like
Okay.
that. It would be like rubbery
Oh.
octopus, like too well done.
Okay.
Interesting. If you haven't already listened to episode 5, you should probably go do that.
Apparently,
but
we're pimping that episode out.
wait until this episode's over, though.
So let's go to Canada. 1913, the Handbook of the Indians of Canada claims that a slew of North American First Nations tribe had practiced cannibalism from the Iroquois to the Illinois, the Hopi, the Sioux, the Mohawk, the Tlingit. Like, there's just like almost everyone you've ever heard of and more have been listed as like possibly practicing cannibalism at one time.
But we're guessing that's probably not necessarily true.
probably not.
Okay, so let's be really clear. This is accounts of white colonizers.
Yeah, 1913. I don't believe anything a white person says in 1913.
Right. Okay. So, yeah. So I think right here we can probably like pretty well conclude these were like nasty, malicious rumors
Yeah.
intended to dehumanize indigenous
Definitely.
people. That's so fucked up.
It's so interesting because it's fucked up, but it's interesting because I didn't know that before. I mean, we obviously know that white people dehumanize minorities all the time throughout history.
Right.
Which is fucking horrendous, obviously, and that's sick. But this is just, I've never heard of this before.
I had never heard of that before, which I guess in a way, I mean, I guess it's good because it didn't take hold to the point where it like, carried into like, our generation, but still like what horrible thing to say.
Yeah.
So
what does have some credible documentation is the Maori of New Zealand cannibalizing their white colonizer enemies. In 1772, explorer Marion Dufresne. Marion Dufresne was an explorer, and he set up this little camp. They had a little hospital there. He was killed and eaten in the Bay of Islands, and human bones were found next to fires at abandoned Maori campsites. So, it was also known that the Maori had already been using cannibalism in ways among tribes before the Europeans stuck their diseased noses where they didn't belong, frankly. It's basically like these European colonizers came along and the Maori were like, please get the fuck out, and they finally drove them off. And
right.
Yeah. So I don't blame them for that.
Nope.
Fiji, or the Cannibal Islands, if you're a European sailor. The Marquesas Islands in Polynesia. They had densely populated valleys that were narrow geographically, and the tribes were frequently at war and sometimes ate their vanquished enemies. To quote this dude, W.D. Rubenstein, it was considered a great triumph among the Marquesans. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Marquesans, Marquesans, Marquesans.
Well, I'm also assuming that's the name they like. The
Correct.
White people who gives a fuck how you pronounce it.
Yeah, they were named something else, I'm sure. I'm sorry, I don't have that name.
Oh, that's okay.
To eat the body of a dead man, they treated their captives with great cruelty. They broke their legs to prevent them from attempting to escape before being eaten, but kept them alive so they could be brood over their impending fate. With this tribe, as with many others, the bodies of women were in great demand. So, end quote. So, more cannibalism around the world. I'm just jumping all over. I know, but this is just kind of like I'm doing the general overview, and then JB's gonna get into the really sick stuff. I'm excited for.
I feel all the pressure on me.
Yeah, no.
I believe in you.
Yeah,
I can be really gross, guys. Don't worry.
I think you can live up to the hype.
I have an intellectual distance.
Yeah.
All right.
So, that's the stereotype of the Polynesian cannibal. But really, cannibalism has occurred, as I've been talking about, pretty much everywhere. So there's this famous painting called The Raft of the Medusa. It's by Theodore Géricault, and it depicts one instance of sailors resorting to cannibalism out of desperation. This happened a lot. The famous Donner Party.
Of course.
You guys remember that? You know anything about the Donner Party?
Not personally, but yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
It came across my research as well.
They for more detailed information, there's a Last Podcast on the Left does a really good I think series maybe on the Donner Party.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's a lot to
there's a lot to cover. It's super interesting. But they were in long story short, they were settlers, colonizers stranded in California in a high mountain pass by snow. They resorted to cannibalism. They ate each other. So then there was the case of R.V. Dudley and Stevens in 1884. So this is an English case that dealt with 4 crew members of an English yacht, the Mignonette, who were cast away in a storm some 1,600 miles from the Cape of Good Hope. After several days, one of the crew, a 17-year-old cabin boy, fell unconscious due to a combination of famine and drinking seawater, which, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. You don't want to drink that shit.
Yeah.
Drink your pee.
Drink your piss.
Yep.
It's sterile. The others, with possibly, reports of one objecting, decided to kill him and eat him. They were picked up 4 days later, and 2 of the 3 survivors were found guilty of murder. Murder. A significant outcome of this case was that necessity was determined to be no defense against a charge of murder. So it's basically even if you're starving, you can't kill somebody to eat them. I'm sorry.
Good to know.
I mean, that makes sense.
Murder is murder.
Yeah. Who's to say you were the one who deserved to live?
Yeah.
All right. WW2.
What?
Russians.
What?
What? We're still
WW2?
cannibalism in WW2?
Honeys, we're going all the way up to the present day.
There's more?
Yeah, we haven't stopped. We have still have more to go.
Oh,
All
boy.
right.
Oh, boy.
WW2. Russians, Germans, and Japanese all had stories of cannibalism. The siege of Leningrad. Guess how many days it was?
37.
Justine.
Oh, fucking no. 75.
You guys are so fucking stupid.
I know.
69. I'm sorry. I changed my answer. 69.
Nice. It was, in fact, 872 days.
God damn,
Wow.
bitch.
I literally know nothing about Russian history.
Russian history. It's interesting as fuck. Yeah. Okay. So after all birds and rats and pets were eaten, after everybody eat their little doggy,
Oh, no.
people resorted to cannibalism.
Oh, my
Leningrad
God.
police had to form a special unit to combat it. It was that bad.
Oh, my
There
God.
had to be a cannibalism unit in the police force.
Why didn't I learn about that in history class?
Because you didn't have me as your teacher, I guess.
Ugh.
Oh man, I'm not a teacher, but I kind of wish I could be. I guess that's what this podcast is like, I love, like, I'm just like, thirsty for bizarre knowledge. I'm a big trivia, like, dork. I love Jeopardy so much. I was Alex Trebek for Halloween one time.
You
know.
were. You look so cute.
Yeah, I had a
Aw.
little mustache. It was so cute.
I definitely want to see a picture of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll throw it up on the Insta
Cool.
for this episode if people are interested. So get back into it. Back to World War II on the Japanese and the Pacific side, in the Pacific Theater. Found a very sick quote from a POW from the British Indian Army. He is Lance Nile Hatam Ali. He testified in New Guinea, quote, the Japanese started selecting prisoners, and every day one prisoner was taken out and killed and eaten by the soldiers. I personally
Ugh.
saw this happened, and about 100 prisoners were eaten at this place by the Japanese.
Oh, my God.
The remainder of us were taken to another spot 50 miles or 80 kilometers away where 10 prisoners died of sickness. At this place, the Japanese again started selecting prisoners to eat. Those were selected were taken to a hut where their flesh was cut from their bodies while they were still alive.
Flayed?
And they were thrown into a ditch where they later died.
Oh.
So, yeah. Disgusting.
Oh.
That's sick.
That's so fucking sick.
This is an interesting. So now I've got just a couple like little, instances of kind of modern day-ish cannibalism. So the New York Times reporter William Bueller Seabrook decided to cook it and eat it in the interest of research. He got it from a hospital intern, which this was prior to 1931, so it was easier to get away with like fucking bananas shit like that. He said it tasted like veal, incidentally. Have you guys ever heard of the movie Alive?
Yes.
I have, but I don't. I mean, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Do you know what it's about at all?
Yes.
It involves cannibalism.
I mean, I
obviously.
would imagine.
There was a Uruguay flight. There was a crash in the Andes Mountains. Uruguay Air Force Flight 571 on October 13, 1972. On board was basically a soccer team. And the survivors were stranded for 72 days and ate the dead to survive. The movie Alive, it freaks me out and I will not watch it. But this always reminds me of one of my favorite Simpsons quotes, which they reference Alive in one of their episodes, and they're like, pass me another piece of Copilot.
Oh.
So I won't watch that. I mean, I remember one time my mom was watching that when I was younger, and I was sitting in the game room, like using the computer, talking on AOL Instant Messenger, I'm sure.
As you do.
As you do, when you're 14 years old in the year, what was it, like 1998? Anyways, so she was watching that, and I remember hearing like the crashes of the plane, and they're like, we're going down, oh my God! And then they die, and then, later on, they have to eat each other, eat the dead people to survive. It's like, that just doesn't sound like a good time. Like, I don't want to watch that.
No.
No? being
No.
in a plane crash and forced to cannibalize doesn't sound like a good time to you?
Like, I don't know
Fucking
why.
princess.
Would you guys want to watch that? What is the interest in that movie?
None.
Macabre.
Macabre.
See, I was just talking about this with another coworker today. How she and I both we like to hear about gross stuff.
I don't like to see it.
We like to read about gross stuff. We do not like to see gross stuff.
You know what's interesting? I like to watch like documentaries of gross stuff, but dramatized versions. For some reason, a lot of times I'm not into that.
They never show like the really gross stuff, even when they do dramatized versions, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they'll show like a little, like to be like, oh, we're about to saw into this body, but it doesn't get it like super gory and gross.
Yeah, like I you know how like when when really horrible things happen, like someone gets beheaded and a video is going around on the internet, like real video. Right. I have zero desire to watch those. None.
Fuck no, the beheading videos.
Heather and I were just talking earlier. Neither she or I really care for horror movies. I don't know what your feeling are.
They're not my fave.
And what I don't like the gory stuff, and she also doesn't like the gory stuff.
Mm-mm.
But but
sometimes like a little bit of punctuated violence,
a little bit of the hyper violence.
I have seen that movie.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's from the Clockwork Orange.
Oh, You know what? I've never seen that.
It's a terrible movie. Don't watch it. There's like rape
it's hype
in
for no
it.
reason.
It's awful. There's
There's
nobody to root for. It's just like ew.
It's definitely it's a movie with devoid of protagonists.
It's
for sure
horrible.
But that's kind of the point.
I'm simple and stupid. I can't handle that.
Okay.
I need a protagonist.
You know
Who's
what?
the good guy?
I'll just say if you're curious, read the book.
Not Malcolm McDowell.
Then you don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so more famous, a few more. I'm almost done here. Just got a few more like modern day famous. You know, like we know all good old Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, I'm not gonna. Well, this is not a true crime podcast.
Yeah, let's not do that.
That is well trodden territory.
Everyone knows.
Everybody knows about him.
Yeah, we don't need another one of those.
There's you're gonna go into this, like, you know, the long pig subreddit, you know, JB, I think you
unfortunately delved into that.
So I'm gonna let you have that.
No.
Yeah, girl.
I know, right? I'm so glad she did it and not me.
Do you want to eat the cake now?
Do you want to eat the cake now and barf it up later, or do you want to hear her stories
and then not eat the cake?
Not eat the cake.
I choose option A. So yeah.
So do you guys remember the cannibal cop, Gilberte Valley III?
No.
So
God, vaguely.
He didn't actually eat anybody, but he was a former New York City police officer who was convicted by a jury in March of 2013 of conspiracy to kidnap.
That was all fake.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, they basically, he was posting online about like, oh yeah, I like to eat people and stuff, and then
he was conspiring with people in different continents about like, oh, we're gonna all meet up and kill and eat this guy.
Yeah. But so the verdict was overturned 16 months later. A circuit court later affirmed the acquittal in December of 2015, but the prosecution's appeal could yet go to the Supreme Court. So it's like still tied up in the courts in some ways. He was arrested after his wife discovered he was spending time in chat rooms describing detailed plans to abduct, torture, rape, and cannibalize women. He claimed all the scenarios he described were merely fantasy. The case drew widespread attention, for its like unusual nature, as you can imagine. And he was dubbed the Cannibal Cop because he was, a cop. And
yeah, I came across him in my delving into the cannibalism subreddits.
Yeah.
And there's this thing, like this idea of like the dulcet boy or the dulcet girl.
What's that?
It's basically like a person who sacrifices themselves to be like skewered and eaten or boiled and eaten or whatever.
Ugh.
But this cannibal cop, it was all just like a fetish thing for him.
Yeah.
But he did like kind of take advantage of his position as being a police officer and use that information as part of his fantasies, which is why he got into trouble.
Surprise, surprise, he got caught.
But he was conspiring with people like across the world in like completely unrealistic scenarios.
Is this like when in your research, did you come across, I have one last story, but I'm wondering if you probably like found this guy as well. In 2001, Armin Muse from Essen, Germany.
Oh, I know
what?
that
His name
story.
came up, but I honestly, I had enough.
This dude.
But I didn't delve into it. So please.
Actually, I want you to talk about it because I think it's actually, I'm familiar with it. I think it's probably one of the most like infamous modern day cases.
Hundo
Yeah,
P.
everybody
Yeah.
on the cannibalism forums, they were referencing him like he was like George Washington.
He's probably like their hero. But
So in 2001, Armin Muse from Essen, Germany, he killed and ate Bern Jürgen Brandes.
ew.
Yeah,
What?
it was a sexual fantasy between the two, which was documented on video as consent. And like the guy Bern Jürgen, he was basically recorded as saying, "I want to be killed and eaten. I'm cool with that."
Fuck.
Yeah, and then but the German courts were like, "Nope, sorry, Mr. Muir, Herr Muse, you are convicted of murder," and he got life in prison.
Entschuldigung, Herr Muse.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Sorry.
Excuse me.
Actually, it does mean excuse me. I'm doing bad German.
No, Entschuldigung means excuse me.
Right. I mean, it's not actually. Never mind.
Oh, sorry.
It's maybe not what they would actually say.
Oh,
yeah.
Fraulein Berg, how many years of German did you take?
You feel a yarn.
3.
3.
Yeah. Dry.
Pimp.
But yeah. That's the end of cannibalism, a little tour du cannibalism, a little bit of history, a little bit of geography, a little bit of modern day,
It's a little spicy.
Okay, so I hope that was a little appetizer, a little moose bouche for you guys. Yeah. A little taster. So thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
I don't want to thank you.
I enjoyed learning about cannibalism. I learned some stuff I didn't know.
I did too.
Same.
Oh my gosh.
I'm horrified.
Yeah, horrified and intrigued. That's what this podcast is all about. And every week it's like affirmed. Like the fact that I love our concept is just constantly affirmed.
Oh, Hondo P.
We
Yeah.
get so sick.
All
Yeah.
right.
I love it.
So before Jen ruins my life, we're gonna take a cake break.
Cake
We're gonna-
break!
Because
So-
it's our 10th episode.
BRB.
Anniversary.
Okay, Jen. I've eaten my cake. I've gotten a new beer. I'm ready. Hit
All
me.
right. All right. So, based on what Heather said and the fact that we've all been alive, not a pun on the movie, but also a pun on the movie.
Okay.
I think we can all agree that cannibalism is one of, if not the greatest taboos for mankind.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a taboo.
It's-
It's so
yeah.
taboo.
All right. And it's pretty hard to gross me out.
That is true.
But I'm going to be honest, certain aspects of this research like really disgusted me in a pretty visceral way.
Oh no.
Are we giving ourselves like psychological damage by
no,
doing
I'll
this?
be fine. I'll it's fine.
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
fine. We'll do a palate cleanser immediately after this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
watch Simpsons or Taylor Swift videos or whatever we have to do.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now, intellectually, when I think about this topic, on one hand, cannibalism is not inherently unnatural.
Right.
Right. As we learned.
It happens commonly enough for various reasons. Food scarcity, if the young is stillborn or weak, like
Ugh.
even sexual cannibalism. I think we're all familiar with
You're talking about animals?
well, yes, we're animals.
Oh, okay. I
So, yeah.
thought you were talking about human sexual cannibalism.
Right. So
Well, I mean, that's a different thing, and I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to kink shame, but that's nasty, and I
Right.
don't want to talk
Well,
about it.
So to pause for a second. So Heather just talked about, cannibalism in the sense that from humans' earliest time on Earth, there's evidence of humans engaging in it.
Correct.
And as you're saying now, Jen, it's
like
also
other animals do too.
correct. So in that sense, yes, it is
It's
part
natural.
part of the natural way.
So, I mean, like, I think we're all familiar with praying mantises.
oh yeah, that's the most
That-
famous.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Like the lady mantis will bite the head off of her gentleman caller and
Mm-hmm.
After they've done bump bump.
yeah. But hey guys, according to research from the University of Toronto Scarborough,
I mean Toronto, eh?
males that are cannibalized in insect populations, not
Mm-hmm.
in human populations,
Unfortunately.
they have longer copulation times and they produce twice as much offspring.
Oh, so the women? You mean the
No, the
females?
men.
So the male mantis continues to populate after being cannibalized, and that's what makes them go longer.
Like they're able to still be alive after their heads are eaten.
Oh my
Got
And like
it.
they're able to produce more offspring.
Oh my.
Oh wow.
what?
So
Okay.
hey guys, you got something. I mean, you got eaten, but you made twice as many babies.
I mean,
I don't know if that's a pro or a con.
Well,
You
I
may
mean-
not have no head, but your dick is just like you're
was-
fucking fertile AF.
I was gonna
so-
say, if your head's gone, that blood's got to go somewhere.
True story.
Suck.
Sick. I was
Anyway.
sick.
All right. However, we humans operate a bit differently.
Do we?
Yeah, we, in general, despite a lot of the things I think we hear and see in the news in the world, we place a high value on human life.
Good point. Sure.
Sometimes.
In general,
Some of us.
yeah. And there are certain survival exceptions that I think we kind of all accept happened, like in
The raft of the Medusa.
Alive Donner Party.
yeah, I was thinking of Alive and Donner Party, but also that.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna post that painting on our Insta as well.
Oh, okay.
Because it's beautiful. I mean, it's like a bunch of people on like a fucking raft that are starving, but it's beautiful. It's
But
huge. It's in the Louvre, I think.
But we hear about those kind of stories. I think, I don't know, it occurs to me, and it probably occurs to you, even if you're not going to admit it. You're like, well, what would I do if I was in that scenario? And I probably would do it, but if I eat human flesh, am I going to be okay? Am I going to get sick?
Yeah.
Am I going to die? Like, am I going to develop an unsatisfiable urge to eat human flesh?
Oh, I've heard of that one. That you get this like craving.
Yeah, the craving.
Okay, so you mean like you get the taste for it. Like after
Yeah.
you eat it, you're just like, that's
Nothing
so
else
tasty.
is going to do.
It's like that long pig is the most delicious bacon I've ever had.
Oh
Because
no.
bacon is the best meat. I'm sorry,
It
everybody
is.
agrees
That's
with
true,
that.
it is.
Bacon's the tastiest meat. So like, you're just
trying
like,
to
oh my god, this
Yeah.
is the tastiest bacon I've ever had. I gotta have more long pig.
Oh no.
so I mean,
I don't. This buildup is making me nervous.
I love it.
I love a slow buildup.
I love it. Oh my god.
Well, first of all, yes, you can get sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm sorry, I don't mean to want to interrupt you, but I have questions. first.
Oh, please.
So did you look into like, okay, you can get sick because people, have diseases and stuff, or like just because you get sick by eating like the flesh of the human
Is
period?
it from eating the brain?
Or do you
You're-
have it? Should we just like just you
Should we
wait?
just
You're
shut up
both
and let
right,
you-
and that's part of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay,
ladies.
so
Okay.
basically Heather and I should shut up and let Jen talk. Okay.
Allow
Sorry.
me to present, and then I will answer any questions
Okay.
afterwards.
We're gonna stop trying to be so smart.
No, but you guys are very smart because you both had very good intuitions.
Oh, thanks.
So yes, human flesh can be regarded basically as any other kind of flesh.
Sure.
Like, so if you're a diseased human full of like, I don't know, syphilis and gonorrhea and HIV
And
yeah.
tapeworms.
and tapeworms,
Yeah.
like people will get those diseases if they eat your flesh. However,
Pubic lice.
I don't think you'll get pubic lice. I think that will probably be taken care of by the time you get there. But however, if you're a relatively healthy human and you don't have any diseases, it's as healthy to eat human flesh as it is to eat any other kind of flesh.
Mhm.
But as
Yummy.
you pointed, Justine, you should avoid eating the brain.
And
Why?
why? Yeah, that's actually so. I knew that was a thing, but I hope you're about to explain why because I don't know
Oh
why.
yeah,
Explain
Okay.
how.
that's the meat
tell
of
me.
this presentation.
Ew. Fuck you.
The
All
meat
right.
of the presentation.
I just winked like 9 times. At
She
Justine.
did.
She
It's
did not
pretty
like it.
I hate you,
No,
Punzar.
I'm already mad.
So a disease very similar to mad cow disease called kuru, and it's always fatal.
Ooh, okay.
And it occurs from eating infected brain tissue.
Infected with
Kuru.
Kuru.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's a type of. It's very similar to mad cow.
Okay.
It's very similar. Yes.
Which is prion disease, which I would like to do a whole mad cow episode because it's fucking gross.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And not to get too much off topic, but like prions are like fucked up and crazy,
They're so
right?
scary.
Okay, so we're gonna save that for another time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. To be
All right.
Moving
continued.
on.
So Kuru arose in a village in Papua New Guinea, which is an area of the world that Heather touched on just a few moments ago.
Yep.
After members of the Foray tribe or Four tribe, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce it.
FORE.
Yeah, I'll
Mhm.
say Foray. After they consumed the brain of a villager that died of Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease.
It's a Creutzfeldt-Jakob actually.
Okay.
Well, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. And Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, are you familiar with it?
That's
speak
essentially what mad cow is.
So
Yeah.
So it's caused by the protein
Prion.
prion, and it can occur spontaneously or through genetics or through exposure to spinal fluid or infected brain tissue.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's usually fatal. It is a spongiform encephalopathy.
Oh yeah, that's the best part about it.
Can you pronounce that for me, please?
Spongiform encephalopathy. So
Thank
basically,
you.
yeah, your brain becomes like
Spongy.
squishy, like Swiss cheese spongy, full of holes.
Okay, so how many, like, do most people have a brain that would do that if you ate it, or
No.
Okay.
It's very rare.
But it's
They
a
have to be
risk.
infected with that prion, and then
Yeah.
basically, if you're eating that brain, you're passing that along.
Okay, so if you're already infected with that in your brain, you're going to die, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fatal. Yes.
Got it.
Now, the 4A ate brains as part of a funerary practice. And as Heather discussed earlier, there's different peoples through the world who ate people for different reasons.
Right.
And the 4A ate them for funerary practices.
Got it. Yeah.
So they ate family members to free the spirit of the dead. Basically, given the option of the family consuming the body or putting them in the ground and letting like worms and bugs and to just let them rot, they thought it was a better option to consume them and have, their bodies inside of the family. And
I want you inside of me.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Is that disgusting?
yes, of course, we're talking about cannibalism. Everything is disgusting. So in general, overall, and I'm sure actually probably 100% of the time, but I'll just say in general, women and children are the ones who prepared the bodies to be eaten.
Of course, we always have to do the fucking dirty work.
Yeah,
That's
God
right.
damn it.
And women and children are the ones who ate the brain.
Oh.
So
And thus they were the ones who were most often afflicted by this disease.
that fucking sucks.
And unfortunately, the disease has such a long incubation period. Like
Oh,
it can be
no, so
from
you don't
10 to 50 years.
10 to 50?
Yeah,
Until it like manifests itself.
unfortunately.
Oh,
So
wow.
the epidemic unfortunately lasted long after the community stopped practicing this cannibalism.
Wow.
The community stopped practicing cannibalism in the year 1957.
Wow.
And there were about 200 deaths a year up until that point.
Wow.
And the last death is somewhere between 2005 and 2009.
Christ.
So that's
Very interesting.
so that's about how long it took from those stop eating humans to have the last person.
Cannibalism is a long effect. Got a long
Ugh.
Risky business. That's what it is.
and as Heather talked before, there's actually a lot of really interesting anthropological instances of cannibalism, and for many reasons. And this was the most known one I could find that had a direct transferable like ill effect on your health. Like in general, there's like, oh, that's gross. Don't eat people. That's fucking sick.
It'll make you crazy.
But this
man.
was the only one I could find where like, oh yeah, these people really got sick from eating people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the other instances, people just ate people for necessity, and they're like, tastes like some delicious veal or some like, pass me that piece of co-pilot. I'm gonna survive until I get, saved. And they were fine.
Okay.
It's
All right.
fine. So if you find a human body that is healthy, and we'll say that you avoid the brain for
Yeah.
just for safe sake,
just eat like the
The leg.
arms and the legs and shit.
You'll be fine.
Don't
You'll-
eat the fucking guts. All
yeah,
right.
as long as they're not disease ridden and you don't eat the brain, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
ba-
I mean, you gotta bleach that shit anyway. Like making chitlins. You would have to like clean out all of like
well,
the
I guess
stomach.
if you're gonna eat the poop parts, yeah.
Don't do that. Just don't do it.
Yeah, just-
Oh. And also, well, based on that one Instagram post, which got some interesting responses to that.
Yes, we most certainly did.
Many people said the butt would be a part of the body they would eat.
Yeah, it would be. It would. Oh my god, you imagine the marbling.
Well, it depends on the butt.
Does depend on the butt.
A nice, plump
I would.
derriere.
I mean, I'm gonna get into this, so my
yeah.
I'm gonna withhold my opinion because I'm not done. I'm not done, guys.
I'm already trying to hold down my cake.
Well, we didn't
So-
eat meat or anything. It's fine.
Still.
All right. Well, so first, let's just have some nutritional facts about the human body.
All right. Okay.
Mhm.
The human body, human meat, is definitely red meat, and it's indicated by the myoglobin Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yeah, myoglobin. Yeah, sure.
And the hemes in our muscles.
Okay.
That's all those qualities are associated with red meat.
So, okay. So we're not. So I guess we're probably like a lot of mammals, like rabbits. Like rabbits are they red meat?
Rabbits are red meat, yes.
Pork is also red meat.
But
that was
people call
just
it
that
white
was just a
meat for-
marketing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Just because it's lean.
Yeah.
It's not
Pork.
even, I don't know, it's low calorie. I guess it's
Well,
lower calorie.
it's
than
lean.
beef.
It's leaner than
Not that pork
Beef.
belly bitch. Oh.
Right. Anyway.
The average human body is approximately 81,000 calories. A thigh is approximately 10,000 calories. And a heart is 700 calories.
Oh. Wow.
So yeah, it's relatively lean.
That's not even like
That's a dinner.
Like less than half of a Chipotle burrito.
True.
Yeah, and you could have a burrito or a human heart. Which would you choose?
Daenerys Stormborn chooses the human heart.
True.
So if you're gonna carve into a human body, it has the appearance of beef because it's red meat. But most accounts that I've read, and I read far more accounts of eating human bodies than I care to have read.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
That's hilarious.
Oh, Jen.
But they likened
boy.
the flavor to pork. But there were enough who likened it to veal.
Yeah,
or
my one guy
goat,
said it tastes like veal.
but
Goat. Goat's pretty gamey.
Some said it was gamey.
I
But
wonder if that varies did that vary by what part of the body they were eating?
a little bit, but I think those were kind of outliers. Most people say the human tastes like
Okay,
pork.
I'm also going, was this like on your subreddit?
There were a few. I read one. It was like top 10 cannibal accounts of.
I'm just wondering how many of those are just people bullshitting.
I really hope like 100% of them are
Okay.
people bullshitting, but I don't know. I did not like DM these people on Reddit and ask them if they really, really, really ate humans because I didn't want
So
that.
you're saying you didn't slide into the DMs
I
of
did not.
alleged cannibals?
I did not. That I make poor decisions when it comes to that sort of thing, but I made the good decision.
I'm
here.
I'm questioning your dedication to this podcast.
I should have made a dummy account. I'm sorry. I'll do more investigative reporting in the future.
Incognito
Please.
mode.
But when we don't talk about cannibalism, we talk about something else.
Okay.
But yeah. So I found a disturbing number of people posting on the cannibal forum of Reddit.
The subreddit like r/longpig.
It was cannibal. It wasn't long pig.
I bet there is an r/long pig. But
I looked up long pig on there. I couldn't find that. But
I just thank you for going there because I didn't want to go there.
yeah.
oh my god, what a horrible place to go.
It truly disgusted me, and I really do hope it was mostly like a morbid curiosity or an exploration or a sexual thing or whatever.
A lot of stuff on Reddit is shit posting.
I truly hope it was.
Yeah.
This is what JB does for you fans.
Yeah.
But
Listeners.
But one thing that stuck out to me delving into this dark side of humanity for you people was that you can make bacon out of breast tissue.
What?
Because breast tissue is so fatty.
Oh my god.
And I actually found another report of eating breast tissue where they said they didn't like breast tissue because it's too gristly. So that like kind of corroborated. And so I'm like, well, you make boob bacon.
Oh my god, like I'm disgusted so bad right now.
I know, right?
This is the grossest thing so far.
I almost feel like we're gonna have to cancel the podcast after
This is it. This is it. We're done. But
we took it too far.
Is it gonna go further from here?
I don't have much more to go after here.
Oh
we're
my
almost done.
God.
Don't worry. It's not too long. It's not too long.
God.
But I guess what I took from it is that if you're really, really curious and you're not interested in having some kind of self-amputation or you're not due for an amputation, there are people who are out there who are willing to donate their limbs to you for their long pig meat.
Like they're like
for real?
They offer themselves as dulcets.
Okay, JB, like that. Do you remember that episode in Nip Tuck where there was that guy and he's like, I want to amputate my leg because I feel like it. Like there are people out there that are like that. Okay, so do you mean people like that? They're like, I'm perfectly willing to give up my leg because I feel like I don't even want it anyway.
So do you want to eat this?
So do you want to eat it? Oh my god, that's so gross. I'm sorry.
And it's actually in theory there are no laws against at least in the United States there aren't laws against cannibalism as long as consent is given.
Yeah, well, as long as you don't kill the person
Or mutilate
exactly.
them.
you can just chop off a piece of them.
Yeah.
No, because that's still mutilating someone.
But if they say like I'm gonna chop off my leg or I'm gonna get my leg amputated, I give you permission to eat that.
Well,
that's fine.
Do you remember I put this in our Slack maybe like a month or so ago. It was a link to a podcast I found where they interviewed a guy who ate part of his own foot.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, he made tacos and he served them to his friend, right?
Because it was being amputated. It was being amputated for I forget why, but yeah, and he and his friends decided to eat anyway. So I guess that is a thing. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's fine. Okay. I mean, it's legal. It's fine. You can do that. Obviously, murdering people to eat their flesh is not fine. But if someone knowingly gives you their meat,
slice off a titty and give it to somebody to make some Canadian bacon and just...
Or American bacon.
I guess American bacon.
It probably won't be Canadian bacon. That's more like a ham. That's probably going to come from your thigh.
Unless you sliced off a titty of somebody from Toronto.
Isn't Canadian bacon just back bacon?
It is.
Yeah.
Not a thigh. Yeah.
So,
bacon. Do you guys have any questions?
I like my brain just broke.
That was gross.
That was really
and I
gross.
spared you guys a lot of the details.
Thanks for being sick. That was great.
I think you've really gone above and beyond. Like if our podcast had an award or a trophy, I would give it to you.
Thanks.
Just for for
being a champ. There you go.
Yeah, see, that's why I said I couldn't even look into anything sick this week because after doing that research, like, nope. I just want to like look at videos of cats and puppies and listen to Taylor Swift, and that's all I want to do.
Watch The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Only light and fluffies.
I know what we'll do after this for a palate cleanser.
What?
I'm going to show you guys TikTok.
You mean the app?
Okay, yeah.
Well, I know a little bit on TikTok, but
we're gonna watch it together.
I mean, all the Lizzo, I like big boys, itty bitty boys.
Oh yeah, those are some of the
boys, Inner City boys. There's a lot of TikToks that use that song that are great.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do after this.
All right, that'll be
palate
good.
Cleanser. Oh my god, I can't even think of any questions because I'm just like,
you already learned too much.
My brain is just,
we know too much.
I told you it was gonna be sick.
Yeah, so I guess did you get the sense when you were reading these posts that like they were being serious or that they were like kind of like playing out fantasies?
Yeah, how much was shit posting?
Well, the thing that I found perhaps a bit concerning is that the cannibal forum on Reddit, there really weren't very many posts on it. So I feel people were being legit and just deleting that stuff like immediately.
Yikes.
Oh boy.
So the things that were existing were real. Because as I scrolled down to all the things that were like downvoted, it was just a bunch of like lewd dudes with pieces of salad around their wings saying like, oh man, get a piece of this long pig. Like, and I was like, obviously this is just a sex thing for this person.
What were some of the topics? Like, was it like, okay, like various categories of the threads? Like,
it was like,
what's your favorite part to eat?
Yeah. Or how do you get long pig? Or I'm a long pig looking to donate.
I'm a long pig.
Or I'm a dulcet boy looking to donate.
A dulcet boy?
Or dulcet girl.
That's the name?
Yeah.
Oh
but like
God.
that kind of thing. So they kind of struck true to me. Or how do you get long pig? And there's and I kind of think this was a shit post, but someone said that their aunt was a mortuary aide or had a funeral home and they got the leftover parts. And I was like, that's not really what happened.
Yeah, I'd like to think that like most of that stuff is,
I think most of it's fake.
If not shit posting, but like people like playing out, like role playing almost.
Yeah, and that's fine. I can live in a world where people are doing that. That's fine.
Because honestly, you've given us an like I
would not advise that you just eat any random long pig too. Like,
because you don't know their disease history.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
The guy that says that he gets it from like the mortuary assistant, like you don't know what that person died of.
Yeah,
and they could have,
don't eat random dead bodies.
When you hope it's pre-embalming.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, as we learned in a previous episode, callback.
Yeah.
That shit'll give you cancer.
Yeah. Well. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. So is that it?
I'm sorry, I don't have any more.
I think that's
Fort Pitt.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, that was great.
I was really hoping it was going to be more things like, oh, you'll get a horrible stomach disease or you'll have uncontrollable diarrhea. No, it's nothing like that.
It's just more good meat.
It's just more good meat.
You know what? I hope both of you fucking have sickest thing of the week in a good way to talk about. Because,
I do.
Oh, good. I hope you do, because I don't, because my brain got very dark this week.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, so I know we record this like, a few weeks in advance. So this is obviously you guys already know about this, but I'm really pumped that we're on Spotify.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I think that's the sickest thing of the week in the good way because that's how I listen to podcasts normally, and I'm happy that we're on Spotify.
That's probably how you guys are listening to us right now.
Yeah. Actually, I can tell you, like, so we just released episode 5 when we're recording this. So we're 5 episodes ahead, basically.
Yeah.
So that would put us 5 weeks ahead.
Yeah.
Math. Anyway, or something. Yeah. And so the way I understood, I don't really understand how any of this works. And from what I had been reading, I couldn't submit to Spotify until we had 5 episodes published, which I don't know if that was actually true or not, but that is what I read. So we waited until this week and now we're on Spotify. And already, I think within like a day, we had so many listens on Spotify. Spotify immediately became our most used podcasting platform, yes, of people who listen to this show.
My butthole.
I know. It's amazing. And I'm like, so yeah, I'm super stoked actually. And I agree. I think like the coolest, this is even cooler than saying we're on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Be able to like tell people I know I have something, it's on Spotify.
Spotify!
Fucking
You
great.
can even search us now. We're searchable now.
We are. It's
Are we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're searchable now.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's yeah, and and on that note too, like thank you to everyone who's been,
Thanks everybody who's listening.
everyone who's been listening.
It's really nice.
We have no like visions of becoming like, super fucking famous doing this. Obviously, we're just happy to be doing it, and that we know there are people out here listening to this who we don't know, and there maybe only be 5 of you, and we love you.
I didn't know
thank you.
I didn't think anybody would listen to this. Like maybe we get like one, like just like a handful of pity listens.
Right.
But people have listened to all of our episodes, and I'm like,
I know.
Yay!
It's
So thank you so
Thank you
much to
so
all of our
much.
listeners. We love you so much.
and honestly, please email us stuff. Like, don't be afraid. Don't be shy.
Suggestions, comments, we're definitely
Stories.
If we said
open.
something wrong or weird and
Yes.
you hate it, like we'll probably won't do it anymore.
Yeah,
But we
just-
might do it again.
Oh, but please,
But like, if you have good ideas,
we would love to hear from you.
Suggestions,
Yeah.
suggestion box.
something sick that you really don't want in your browser history and you want us to look up for you, we'll totally do that.
I love that idea.
I'll go incognito mode just for you.
Aw.
I don't even care about that. I'll
You'll raw dog it.
I'll raw dog it.
You'll raw dog that browser.
Jen's already ruined for life.
I mean,
the
but
cannibal
like,
stuff.
I
so.
don't know what else you could have us research that is darker than cannibalism.
This is so dark. It's so
This-
dark.
This is the bottom. This is our rock
No,
bottom.
I bet you we can go darker. What's more taboo? Though?
Nothing. Literally. There's
I
only
don't-
one thing that's more taboo, and I'm not even going to say it.
Oh no, more.
Is it
more to
corpse
come.
fucking?
No.
Oh my god.
Actually, I think that.
Sorry.
Well, though, I guess that's darker, but no, that's not what I was
Remember, the goal of this is to keep it entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not
So-
disturbing.
Like, we already had enough episodes that I have to tell people maybe don't listen to this in front of certain people because there's a lot of swearing.
I mean, I already have this labeled not safe for work.
It's definitely not
like
safe
it's
for
labeled
work.
explicit.
It
in
is
podcasts.
explicit.
Yeah. So anyway,
So, hey, you guys are all pretty badass.
Well,
Can't
Listen
be
to this.
censored, man.
so that is a good sickest thing of the week in a good way.
That was
for
that's pretty
sure.
rad.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to say that I think that goes for all of us.
Yeah,
sure.
It's the sickest thing for all of us. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that is it for this week. I almost didn't make it. But yeah, if you are still listening, oh my gosh, I hope you are. Please consider subscribing to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you found us. And please rate and review too if you like what you heard. If you didn't, you can just, ignore us. That's fine. Please follow us on Twitter at ThatSickPod and on Instagram at ThatSickPodcast. Visit our website at thatsickpodcast.com or email us at thats.sick.podcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, as you just heard us go on and on and on about. So yeah, please tune in next week. And until then, just say no to Long Pig because that's sick.
Bye.